Hi everybody, it's Miss Veronica, and I'm doing another video for you guys because I know a lot of us are still home. I'm actually still home as well. I'll be back on Monday, so I'm doing another video for you guys if you'd like to follow along with some art while you're at home. So today we're going to talk about something a little different than we did last week. So if you saw last week's video or if you were in class last week, we were talking about surrealism, which is a type of art that's very dreamlike. And this week we're shifting gears a little bit and we're going to talk about a type of art called still life. And still life is much more straightforward. A still life is generally, if you think of kind of the classic bowl of fruit type of painting, that's what still life is. It doesn't have to be fruit, but it's that sort of a setup. A lot of times there's a really nice look at the light and shadow, very realistic a lot of times as well. And that's a type of art called still life. So we're going to look at it this week. It's going to lead us into some talk about technique, some lessons about technique and shading and lights and shadows and all those kinds of fun things. But for today, we're just going to look at still life and all the fun ways that artists use still life. So I'm going to go ahead and show you an example. So like I was saying, the kind of bowl of fruit type of a painting, that is a still life. Sometimes it's a vase of flowers. And I'm actually going to show you a very old one here. So you can see right there. All right, so this is a still life. This is from an artist called Clara Peters. And I really like this one because this is from a painting from quite a while ago. This is 1615, the year 1615. And in this painting, she was painting in a time where a lot of the artists were men. Primarily the artists were men that she was working alongside of. And so here you can see very, very closely on that knife, and I don't know if you can see it, but it says her name, Clara Peters, there. And then this one's even tougher to see. And you know what? I think there's actually a close-up. Yeah, right here. Okay, so right there you can see she actually painted her reflection. She painted her reflection into the jug. All right, so now we know who the artist was, right? We know that it was a woman who painted it, and we know it was Clara Peters. So still lifes are kind of interesting because you can put your own input into them, and you can make them your own. It can be a form of self-expression, a way to express yourself. And on that note, I'm actually going to show you a still life of mine. I really love still life, and I don't generally do the kind of bowl of fruit type of still life. I like to do something different. I've done some outside. I've done some different setups, one of which is this one right here. And this one is a really cool one for me because this was one to express that I play music. I play in a band, and it's an all-female band, it's all-girl band. And so this was a cool way for me to paint that without painting it literally, without painting all the members of the band. This kind of gives you an idea of that, but it's through still life painting. There's no people here, right? You can't see the whole story. You can kind of see just an indication through the objects that I chose. All right, and I'm going to show you another one just for fun. This one is another fun one that I did that's just of the kind of like the view of the shower. When you're looking at the shower, you're looking at the handles and you're looking at what you're going to use in your shower. So this is kind of a fun one because if you could tell, if you're looking, probably if I had, I don't know, some items that looked like there was maybe a child, all right, look like a little kid, little blocks or kid crayons, shower crayons, and baby shampoo, that would tell a different story. I did this one a long time ago. This was about 10 years ago that I painted this. And so this was a different time in my life when I didn't have a daughter. And this kind of shows more what it would look like for someone who's a young adult to look at their shower. So you can tell a lot about yourself through still life, and it's super interesting to look at. And it can also be exciting. There can be more of a message to still life as well. So this one, super cool. This one's actually photography. And this artist actually froze flowers and then blew up the flowers and took the picture with a really nice camera to catch that explosion. All right, and it said that he was commenting on the preciousness of life and how easy, how fragile it is, how easily it can be destroyed or something can happen. So it's a little bit of an intense image. If you had this on your wall, it'd be like, whoa, you know, it's kind of an intense picture, and that's how the artist intended it to be. So these are a couple examples of what still life is. And what I'd like for you to do is to create your own idea. Think about no people, no figures, just objects. And it can be anything you'd like. You can try to tell a joke. You can try to say something funny through your objects. You could, have them. I've even seen still lifes with Legos, like in kind of maybe Legos going into the bowl of fruit or something like that. So it can be something that expresses who you are. Maybe it would be your ski boots and your ski poles and a book you really like to read, kind of like a little mix of things that really express who you are. Or it could be a message that you have, about life or your experiences, anything like that. So I'd like you to think of a still life, and it can just be a loose sketch, just something in your sketchbook or in your or on a loose leaf piece of paper. And think about what would be a cool idea for a still life for you. Again, no people, no figures, no faces, unless you want to do something like Clara Peters did and kind of put your reflection in something. That could be cool. And that's what I'd love to see. Any kind of ideas that you have about that. We're going to be going into more work on technique so that we can create a finished still life. So technique being, light and shadows and shading and that kind of thing. But for now, we just want to think about the idea, just kind of wrap our heads around that idea and come up with a concept. All right, I'd love to see anything you come up with, and don't worry, no pressure. We're going to go into this over the next couple weeks, so if you don't get something done, no big deal. It's just something to think about and maybe get started on. All right, thank you so much. We'll see you on campus soon.